Angisa-understandi-ke manje ukuthi sifike kanjani la umacele seza khona. Kodwa-ke akungithusi phela. Makuwukuthi ufuna ukuthi as-surprise uphuma nathi sobabili.
New day, new drama in South Africa. According to new reports, Makamalo attempts the unthinkable to herself after she discovers the new wife is pregnant, but she is still without a child. Please like this video as you watch. In many traditional African homes, especially those where polygamy is practiced, emotional struggles often unfold quietly behind closed doors. While society may expect strength, grace, and acceptance from women in these households, what happens when silent pain becomes too much to bear? One such heartbreaking tale is that of Makamalo, a woman deeply respected for her loyalty and composure, yet privately tormented by the one thing she longs for the most: a child of her own. For years, Makamalo carried herself with pride. She performed her duties with grace and respect, choosing peace over confrontation, even as her heart ached in silence. She became the pillar of her home, a woman whom many admired. Yet, beneath the smiles and calm demeanor, Makamalo was slowly being hollowed out by unfulfilled dreams. Her struggle with infertility was not just a medical condition, it was an emotional prison. In her world, motherhood was not just a blessing, but a rite of passage, a symbol of womanhood, and an anchor of respect within a polygamous structure. While other wives in the household proudly raised children, Makamalo remained empty-handed and often felt invisible. The day that shattered her already fragile spirit began like any other. Whispers drifted through the homestead. There was excitement in the air, laughter from one of the younger wives, and a subtle change in her demeanor. At first, Makamalo ignored it. She had trained herself to expect less, to avoid hope that led only to disappointment. But the rumors solidified into truth. The youngest wife, newly married and still adjusting to her role, was pregnant. The announcement was subtle, but the impact on Makamalo was seismic. The entire homestead buzzed with excitement. Celebrations were quietly planned, rituals were performed, and blessings were offered. Makamalo, true to her nature, smiled, congratulated the expectant mother, and even helped coordinate the ceremonies. But deep inside, her heart cracked. This was more than a personal sorrow. It was the feeling of being left behind, the realization that the place she hoped to fill might never be hers. Every laugh, every conversation about the baby, every traditional chant around the fire became a reminder of what she didn't have, and perhaps never would. Over the following days, Makamalo's presence in the home began to diminish. She no longer joined others for meals. She spoke only when necessary. She spent hours alone, seemingly in thought, but her mind was a storm of emotions: grief, envy, guilt, and shame. No one knew the extent of her pain. She kept her feelings hidden, not wanting to disrupt the harmony of the household or be seen as bitter. But the truth was, she was slipping deeper into depression. Her identity, once rooted in her role as a wife and hopeful mother, now felt hollow. She felt forgotten by fate, overlooked by destiny, and undeserving of joy. The loneliness became unbearable, and in the quiet of the night, as the world around her slept, Makamalo made a devastating decision. She attempted to end her own life. Her absence the next morning did not go unnoticed. A fellow wife, concerned by her closed door and unanswered calls, entered her room to find Makamalo unconscious. Panic set in as the family rushed her to the hospital. The attempt, though serious, was not successful. Doctors were able to stabilize her, but the emotional alarm had already rung loud and clear. The household, once bustling with joy over the new baby, was now shaken. Her husband was stunned. How could he have missed the signs? How had he failed to see the weight Makamalo was carrying alone? Family members gathered at her hospital bedside, some in silence, others in tears. They began to realize that behind her gentle nature and unwavering support had been a woman silently crying for help. When Makamalo regained consciousness, she was met not with judgment, but with love, concern, and a newfound willingness to listen. For the first time, she was given space to speak her truth. And when she did, her voice broke the silence that so many other women shared but could never express. She spoke of the quiet pain of being childless in a home where children were everything, of being strong for everyone else while breaking inside, of feeling invisible in the one place she called home. her story resonated far beyond her household. Community elders, therapists, and women's support groups stepped in to help her heal. She received both traditional and psychological counseling. Slowly but surely, Makamalo began to piece herself back together. Though she still had no biological child, Makamalo began to discover her strength anew. She threw herself into community outreach, supporting other women dealing with infertility, depression, and the emotional toll of polygamous marriages. She started support circles, gave talks, and even began documenting her journey, transforming her pain into purpose. In doing so, she became a mother in ways she had never imagined, nurturing wounded spirits, guiding young women, and educating families about mental health. Her story opened a larger conversation across her village and beyond, forcing people to confront uncomfortable truths, that infertility is not a failure, that depression can hide behind calm eyes, and that women need emotional care just as much as they do physical support. Today, Makamalo is no longer just seen as the wife without a child. She is seen as a survivor, a counselor, and a quiet warrior. Her attempt to end her life was not a sign of weakness. It was a moment of human vulnerability in a life where she was always expected to be strong. Through her pain, she has helped others find healing. Through her silence, she found a voice that speaks louder than ever. And through her journey, she has taught many that motherhood is not only defined by childbirth, but by love, resilience, and the courage to rise again. Makamalo is a name that is often associated with South African culture, particularly among the Zulu and Xhosa people. It can refer to a person, and in some contexts, it may also be used to denote a specific role or title within traditional practices, such as a wife or a woman in a family setting. Thank you for watching this video. See you on our next video on what you think.